Hello, this is Dr. Young, and I'm going to go over your week 5 work. I'm going to go over your assignments first. Your first assignment, you have to do a Tylenol recall exercise. And the first thing I want to say is make sure that your papers are formatted in APA style and that they are at least 250 words. I'm getting short papers that just don't, it's just not offering enough content, and I need you to make sure that you are fulfilling that, because if you give me half of that, obviously you're going to get 50%. So make sure that your papers are meeting the requirements. For this paper, the Tylenol recall exercise, you're going to talk about the Tylenol murders. You're going to talk about whether or how the relationship was managed with the customers and the aftermath, and how does a recall affect an organization. I would discuss things like, you could talk about the way they handled it and the way you feel that things are like this are handled now in the present time. Do you think it's more effective now, or was it more effective then? Are organizations more apt to deal with the situation quickly now, or were they more likely to then? Talk about things like that in comparative terms. And also, this paper needs to be in APA format. All papers need to be APA style. That's title page, that is running heads, page numbers, the whole 9 yards. So make sure you're doing that, because you're going to lose points every time you don't. For your media management exercise, for this assignment, you're going to talk about how organizations use the media, as an effective part of a business continuity communication strategy. So, give me a specific example how a company might utilize the media during a crisis. Talk about how. Give me examples of companies that use the media effectively, and you can also compare that with examples of organizations who did not use the media effectively. I'll give you don't use this example, but like an example would be BP. When the CEO was, speaking with the media, he obviously did not utilize the media effectively there, because he basically seem to want to avoid blame. So, you can see how that works, especially these days when companies will come out and they use media, but they end up harming themselves more. So I want you to talk about a success story and talk about a disaster in that sense of companies that have used media to, during a crisis situation, but had actually made things worse than they were before. So that's what I'm looking for there. Sorry. Oops. Don't. Sorry about that. I have the wrong tab. Discussion. For your discussion, you're playing a role of a car importer, but in that situation, you're also dealing with a crisis of a ship that is carrying some of your cars, or a car for a customer that you are supposed to deliver to, sinks. So what will you do? Is that a disaster? Is that something that you kind of just chalk up to, well, that's going to happen sometimes. It's part of the business that I run. Is it a managed incident? That's, do you account for such things as possibilities, and do you have plan B, C, and D, or is it a disaster, and will it throw your whole business out of whack and out of proportion, as far as how things should go? So the third one is, this is when we're going to talk about what other suppliers can be affected by this incident. You have other suppliers, you have other customers. What about the vessel itself and the ship, the company that runs, that owns the ship? Tell me about the whole picture of who was affected by this one ship that sank. That's really all you have to do this week. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. Again, make sure that you're using APA style. I'm going to go over here really quickly and your paper should look like, this paper I'm getting ready to pull up. It's an APA style paper. It has a running head. I'm going to download it, and you can download it. Use it as a model if you'd like. You should have running heads, page numbers, title pages, reference pages, Pay attention to how you indent your paragraphs. Proofread carefully for grammar, spelling, sentence structure, punctuation. All of that is expected in a college course. You need to be able to do that. So make sure that you're checking all of that. Use this as a guide. Obviously, your paper isn't very long, so you don't have to do a ton of headings, and you don't have to do an appendix or anything like that. But I mean, with the paragraphs, the way they're formatted, they should look like this. Your in-text citations should look like this. Your reference page, hold on, let me get there, should look like this. So please make sure that you're using APA resources when you write your paper. You will be practicing this, or you already have been practicing this, or you should have been, throughout the term. But you need to start thinking, whenever you write a paper, this is the format, because you're taking this program, and they use APA style through almost everything, except if you take a humanities course or an English course, you might use MLA, but that's very rare. So you need to get used to writing in this format. And this is just for your own benefit, because when you graduate from a BA program, you're expected to know this. So I'm just trying to help you help you hone your skills here, in this class, because I want to see that kind of writing. It's professional looking, it's appropriate, it's the way that all undergraduate students are expected to write, as long as it's like a memo or something like that, where it tells you a specific format other than that. But if you're writing a paper about a topic, it needs to be an APA style. So that's really all there is. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know, and I'll be happy to assist you. And have a great week. We have one more week after this. Can you believe that? It's flown by. Time flies by when you take 6-week courses. Remember, I'm available by text, email, and phone. Thanks, and have a great day.